I'm gonna get over there.
Are we live?
Hang on 1 second, I'll tell you. Okay, you're ready.
So welcome everyone. It's February 27th. We're going to have a pledge and a short devotion. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You bow your head. Dear Lord, we thank you so much for the employees we have with our township and the great job they do keeping our residents safe. We pray that you be with us and help us to make wise decisions. Amen. Welcome, everyone. Apology for running a few minutes late. I'd like to know, is there any agenda changes?
I got something on the road.
Something under road. And I do have an addition under the zoning report. We do have a fee schedule we're setting in front of you for approval for this 23 calendar year. And then also under new business, I now have a quote for surveying of the Sucos property to discuss. Anything else, Brian? Do you have anything?
I'll have intermix things in as we go.
Okay. All right. With that, can we have approval for the minutes from Monday, February 13th?
Trustee Puro moves to accept the minutes presented.
Bear with me, trustee.
Trustee Varian, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Can you review the treasurer's report?
Trustee Varian moved to approve the treasurer's report as presented.
Trustee Puro seconds.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Two public speaks. One I'm going to read. It's a thank you from the Osnaburg Historical Society. Dear trustees, thank you so much for all the support you offer with the Wreaths Across America event, which was held in December. We could not be as successful as we have been without the assistance of the township team. We look forward to another successful year in 2023. Kay Upole as the current president of the Osnaburg Historical Society. And I'll point out our road crew did a great job, and our fiscal officer and the different employees that was there and trustees. So thanks everyone. It was a great event. And with that, we have one visitor. And did she sign in?
Yes, I did. Thank you.
Oh, Mary's getting it. So I'm going to welcome Beth Campbell, and she's going to tell us something.
I'm Beth Campbell. I'm from Osnaburg. I'm a seventh generation Osnaburger. Moved to Nimishillen Township kind of on the spur of the moment. 15 years ago now it's been. And I can actually go behind my house on my horse and stand 1 foot in Osnaburg and 1 foot in Nimishillen. And so it's great to be here, and this is home. Osnaburg is always home. However, I am now the executive director, paid executive director for the Louisville Area Chamber of Commerce. I still have my real estate company with 12 agents, so I just kind of do the paperwork and the administrative stuff on the side. Part of my job is they want me to reach out to the local government entities and talk to you just for a few minutes about the Louisville Area Chamber of Commerce. I've already been to Nimishillen and the city of Louisville, and now it's you guys, and later on in March it'll be East Canton. And I'm here to just kind of tell you we have similar goals. sometimes we forget how attached to the hip we really are. Louisville, East Canton, Louisville, we shop back and forth. We have friends back and forth. The school districts are, border each other. And there may be some services and some perks that we can provide that you would find that would be advantageous for Osnaburg and for East Canton, hopefully. Being a part of the Chamber of Commerce, not that the trustees would get this, but there are discounts through the Northern Ohio Chamber of Commerce Association, discounts on workers' comp, all kinds of other nifty little things. We do put on our Facebook page and our webpage who belongs. Nimish Township trustees belong to the Louisville Area Chamber of Commerce. They get presence on our website, anything that's going on. If something's happening in Osnaburg, a function, an event, as members of the Louisville Chamber of Commerce, we would be able to put you on our website and on our Facebook page for those events. Facebook, not website, but Facebook. There's, as a business owner in Nimish Township and a long-term business owner in Osnaburg and East Canton, there's not a lot of business support. And maybe we can help you with that in certain ways. I don't know, that's something that, we would have to talk about and to give it some value. Right now, there's no place for businesses to go for Osnaburg and East Canton, but the Louisville Chamber of Commerce. We're growing. We struggled during COVID, just like everybody else did. We were down substantially. We are back up and have more members now than we've ever had. We do have some wonderful things going on. One of them is the chocolate walk that businesses are participating in. Check our website for that. Another thing that I think this area is going to be very interested in, we're having a shredded event. On June 10th, it's free, donations only. If if they want to throw some money in the hat, that's fine too. We'll have shredded there doing papers, documents. We also have e-recycle coming for the old computers, your old TVs. There's one huge TV in every garage, just sitting there because the husband says, oh, I might use that someday. Watch football and hook it up. And no, those can go. So we are doing that. That's in June. And of course, we're having our Festival Friday, our Chamber Fest in June. And I also brought that I thought you guys might want to make copies of. This is information that we get through the chamber. American Pickers is coming to Ohio, and they're looking for hoarders, and they're open to anybody that you can put in. That you should come here, come there. We've got a few names in mind already. But I just wanted you to know it's nice to be here, kind of back home. All my relatives are in that cemetery. And when the time comes, I will pay extra because I'm in Nimish to be there too. But it's hard as a business. It's nice to have the networking and the other businesses to go to. We do help each other. We're doing a lot of events this year for the businesses. There's going to be one in September. We haven't figured out the place yet, called a vendor fair. And it's only going to be member businesses that will be able to participate, that will have one big venue. People can come in for free, and there's all these businesses with booths. And the normal John Q. public doesn't realize how many businesses there are out there. And we'd certainly like to be able to showcase the Osnaburg businesses too. So something to think about. I know money's tight, I get it. Good luck with your levies. I know how that goes. I'm leaving you some business cards.
Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
We have a wonderful website, LouisvilleOHChamber.org, and everything's there. How to become a member, what our events are, who our members are. We put a lot of work into auditing that, cleaning it up, making sure it's very up to date. It's nice, it's kind of nice as a business owner and the executive director. I'm kind of seeing both sides of it.
Sure.
Yeah, and I don't feel so alone anymore. Because you can get that way. So anyway, well, it's nice to see you all.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard
Appreciate your
you
time.
play at Light Up Louisville.
Yeah,
Last year,
we
I
yeah.
was the frozen person on the golf cart
There you
dressed
go.
like an elf.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, we did some music there, and
Yeah,
our farm takes a truck to your First Fridays.
we don't do First
Or
Friday,
second.
but we're doing Chamber Fest.
Okay, all right.
This
Are they
year.
changing that?
We did Patriot Fest 2 years in a
Okay.
row in
Yeah,
September.
their farmers market we did all year
Yes.
last year.
But we're doing festival or Chamber Fest, and it's
Okay.
going to be June 24th or 25th,
Good.
23rd, Friday and Saturday.
Great.
And hopefully we're going to have fireworks and a whole bed, and lots of vendors, and it'll be a lot of fun. And it'll be a lot warmer than
Yeah.
in the middle of September.
Yeah, right.
It's
Good.
like, last year we had the chocolate walk, which we're doing the chocolate walk again. You don't have to go check in and get a bracelet. We got rid of that. In March, and we sold 100 tickets. It was a blizzard for 4 hours solid.
Hmm.
It's like whatever we do, it's cold. Why is that? So now that I'm the director, I'm going, we're gonna change some of these dates. The chocolate walk is later, the Patriot Fest is now the Chamber Fest, and it's earlier, so that maybe Beth doesn't have to freeze all the time.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
We're
for
still
coming.
gonna do Light Up Louisville first Sunday.
Good.
So keep that in mind. I think East Canton or Osnaburg, or maybe the Historical Society, they did theirs the day before ours, something like that. We don't want to have any conflict. We want to be able to come to yours
Right.
and you come to ours. So,
Good.
all right,
All right,
thank you.
thank you.
Have a good evening.
You as well.
All right, let's move on and fire report and Chief Parker.
Okay. A couple of meetings ago, we had talked about we have 3 sets of turnout gear that need to be repaired. I have a quote for that. I know Fiscal Officer Lowry had said, go ahead and get it done, but the quote for that is $252.90, and that is for all 3 sets.
For all 3.
To be repaired.
Oh, that's not bad. So,
252.90.
$252.90 is the quote.
Nice.
What's
Is
the
that with
vendor?
everything, shipping,
It's us
ordering?
picking it up, but it's a local company. Yes,
What's the vendor?
252.93.
252.90.
he has the.
Just in case.
Okay, so let's just make a motion for $300 to make sure we have plenty in there to cover the turnout gear repair.
Who's the vendor?
Turnout.
Turnout. Okay,
Yeah.
Trustee Varian moves to approve $300 to be paid to Turnout to repair 3 sets of gear.
Trustee Puro, second.
All in favor?
The second thing is we are up for our maintenance on both our heart monitors and our Lucas machines. Last year we did a PM on one and we did a preventative on the other. My recommendation, they gave quotes for both for 3 years. My recommendation at this point would be to just do the PMs on all 4. The cost of that is $1,970 per year for all 4, not per device. So the total is $5,910 over 3 years, and that's for him to come out all 3 years and PM all 4 of those LifePak devices.
All right, so say that again. $5,910
Is the total over a 3-year period.
over 3 years,
Mhm.
and that's all 4 devices.
Yes, and that is just PMs.
And that would be $1,900 for this year,
$1,970 per year for those 3
$1,970
years.
per year. Okay.
Mhm.
And there'd be additional cost if they find something that needs fixed.
Yeah.
Okay.
The
Are you
quote for
okay?
preventative on all 4 devices was $20,000 for 3 years. Yeah,
moly.
that's,
Change of parts. Whether they're bad or not.
Question. If we go this yearly thing, that
Mhm.
means I have to tie it up for 3 years.
so, I mean, I can,
My question as fiscal officer,
sure.
if the trustees do a resolution for the full amount, when we word it as each year,
Okay,
I have to keep that. Just so you know, trustees, that purchase order will stay open until it's all the way done.
Mm,
Okay?
Yeah, but
And I can do that. Or you can do 1970 a year and say that now, and then in January, February of next year, do it again.
Yeah.
But-
Okay? That way it keeps it clean.
how did you lock it in?
It
Do you
does,
not? Do you
I'll just
not?
get a hold of him.
Like, do you say, we're gonna pay you 1970 now, and then next year it's gonna go up? Or,
no, it's gonna be locked in, but we're only allocating.
Or does he want the
money.
full fee right now?
No.
no,
he
it's
just
paid per year then. It's not up front, it's paid per year. We're just gonna write resolutions 3 times, not
Right.
once. Got it.
Sure.
All right,
That's fine.
cool. I'm fine with that. Brian, are we okay with that?
Yeah.
1970. How do you want this? Do you want 3 different
And that's from
resolutions?
Stryker.
One,
It is.
Yeah. It's
we'll
from
do one
Stryker.
every year.
You can have that one too. Although it printed weird.
Okay. So the resolution will have the judge.
It didn't print well. The one I emailed you is much.
I have one.
Stryker.
I have one.
Okay.
It's
That's
for
fine.
Procare Services from Stryker.
Okay.
Get this right.
All right, so we're gonna do one motion, but we're gonna pay them in 3 years, correct?
No, we'll do a motion each year. You're just gonna do the one to pay this year.
Okay,
Just
alright.
for this year.
Trustee Barry moves to pay Stryker $1,970 for PMs on all 4 of our units.
Trustee Pierce seconds.
All in favor?
Aye.
The only other thing I had was I had an interview today with actually an individual who had left, I don't know, it was about 6 months ago, had moved to Arizona, taken a job there. He is back and he got a hold of me and wants to come back. And so we
Had
had,
we employed him before?
yes,
Do we have his gear?
someone else is currently wearing it. So we're going to have to figure
You
that one
scraped off
out.
his name. I see.
If we'll figure out the gear situation.
Okay.
And we did put in for a grant for 4 sets of gear through the fire marshal, so hopefully we'll hear about that. We'll hear back. We'll figure out the gear.
What level does, is this DJ?
It is.
What level does he come in
He's a
at?
paramedic. He's a 240 paramedic. He's full-time at the city of Canton.
Do you want to make a motion, Cliff, to hire him back?
What time, when do you need that? Brian, when do you need that to happen so it doesn't mess up payroll?
When it says DJ, I mean, you have his full name, or do I have to look up his whole record?
David
Is his
Williams.
address has changed? What's all
It
that?
has. He took home a new application to fill
Okay.
out, and I will get that to you. It's
When
David.
do you have him working?
I don't have him on the schedule yet.
I would suggest wait till we get all that before you do it,
Okay,
because I want to have that in there, locked in.
Okay.
As soon as he returns all that, then I have all this stuff, and then you guys can go with
Amy, are
it.
you okay 2 weeks from now, or do you want us to try to, once we get it all, can we make some phone calls amongst trustees and?
That'll give him a reason to get it back to it.
I'm hoping he's bringing it back tomorrow.
Well, it's up to you all how you,
When's your-
what's his wage? What's his hourly wage?
$16.85. He's a paramedic.
Brian, what's your next pay period?
The pay period would end this,
Ends on the 5th or the
next,
4th.
next Saturday. Yeah, Saturday, the 4th.
So can we make, if
On the
pending
5th.
paperwork comes in, can we make him active
The 5th?
the
You
next
want it-
day?
You want him to work. here.
You want him to work, of course.
I would love for him to work in March.
Yeah. So can we make him, pending paperwork is turned in and paperwork is complete, can we make him hired on the
March
first day of the
5th.
next pay period?
You
March
can
5th.
hire him today, start date, say the 5th.
5th of March?
Yeah.
Okay. Trustee Varian moves to hire DJ Williams pending paperwork comes in to start on March 5th.
Trustee Pierce seconds.
All in favor?
Uh,
Aye.
Did you have another application turned in?
I'm meeting with him Friday.
Okay, great. He texted me. All right, thank you.
Yes.
Okay,
I did offer a position to the girl that we had talked about 2 weeks ago, and she said she was gonna see what other offers she got and get back to me, which is kind of what I figured was gonna be the case.
Okay.
So, she has several applications in right now. So, 29 calls. We actually had 9 fire calls. We've been running quite a few more fire calls. Like stove fire, grass fire, all kinds of stuff. And then you can see on there, we had several assists on an accident. And that was actually the one 2 weeks ago. And then we've actually been assisting other agencies, which is kind of nice.
wow, yeah, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, good. I've got a couple of things to add real quick. I've got a receipt to turn in, if you can send that down to Brian. That receipt is some parts for a hubcap on 245, is that right?
Yep.
245. We found the parts at a highlight truck and then order them and we got them. We got the hubcap back on.
Who's getting reimbursed?
Cliff. They didn't charge me tax, which was nice.
Did you fill out a reimbursement form?
I will. And then Pro Air is going to deliver us a compressor for $8,500. This compressor, we're going to get a little bit of time on the bill. They were willing to give us a little bit of time to get appropriations all set. They're going to bring the compressor. They're going to hook it up. They're going to make sure it works. It is used. It is refurbished. But I wanted to get our name on it because it was we thought about writing a grant that didn't work out as we planned to buy a new system. And so we think that this is the best option to get our tank filler back up. And now that I see we had 9 fire, we need that tank system back up because with 9 fire, you're refilling tanks.
Yeah, they on some of them.
Yeah. Okay.
We use bottles on some of those.
so-
not all of them.
Brian, would you like
Do it right now.
okay. All right. Trustee Varian moves to pay $8,500 to Pro Air to purchase a compressor and installation for our Cascade bottle filler system at the fire department.
Trustee Pierce seconds.
Do you have any documentation yet?
Not yet.
Okay.
As soon as I get it, I'll get it to you.
All in favor?
Aye. He was very good to work with. So
Do you have anything else for fire?
I have nothing else for fire.
So I have a question for you. As we've been preparing for the East Canton Rotary Community Festival,
Mhm.
there have been people complaining that the fire department had this game that they always used to play.
P-ball.
That could be it.
Mhm.
And they're complaining, why don't we have that?
Because none of our current employees know how to do it.
Do you still have the
Mhm.
stuff?
Yeah, if somebody else, some other organization wants to use it and do it, they can. We have everything for it. None of our members know how to do it. And we also always run the risk of like leaving.
Right.
Can you explain what you're at? What is it?
It's a P-ball table.
I remember that.
It's a big, huge table. It's a little bit bigger than this, and there's numbers in it, and you pick pills out of a bottle, and that's your number, and then you roll a golf ball, and it's a game of chance.
Oh, okay. Got it. There's holes with numbers.
Frank
Blah, 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 blah.
Gordo made the table.
Oh,
They
no
must
way.
put quarters down or
Yep,
something.
you do. Yep, it's
You put
Mhm.
got it.
Oh,
Yep.
that's gotta be 40 years.
Oh, at least it's old. I mean,
But
we
you
have
have
it. We have everything for it.
Okay.
So we need someone to run it, but we could get it and get it going.
Sure.
Okay.
Did
Yeah.
you guys do the over/under too?
I don't know about that. P-ball. I remember them doing
That used
P-ball
to be pretty
back.
popular too.
Well, that's the one now. I know the football
Yeah, it does
young
something.
kids, they run 2 different things there.
Maybe it's still there. I don't know.
I don't know
would-
either, but the P-ball was specifically mentioned. And I said, well, let me check it.
We still have it.
All right. So we might try to find someone to
Sure.
do that.
Sure.
Okay.
Cool.
And then, but the fire department itself I think it's good when you're there and you have a presence. You had your little
Yep. We
host
take
thing.
our little house thing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll be there. Do you know what the dates are?
It's the 9th and 10th of June, Friday,
Okay.
Saturday.
Okay.
This just kind of popped in my head as we're talking. Is there a liability to having, I mean, I know you guys have an ambulance there because you could get called and have to leave. I understand that. Is there a liability issue to having more equipment there? Or is it just more, you don't want kids crawling around out?
I just don't usually have the people.
Okay, All right. I was just curious. I mean, and we have to have the space.
I mean, if
But-
I only have 2 people on duty working and we bring 2 units and we
Yeah.
have to leave, it's gonna be like
I
the
understand.
accident the other day where Stewie had to take me out to get the
Right,
truck.
right. Okay. I was just,
Way.
to have more things at the festival. If you park the fire
Yeah,
truck and you park the grass truck and we got some help to get stuff over there,
Yeah.
you'd have to make that your command center because when the
And-
bell rings, you gotta go.
I have a question, and I don't know how this works, but for someone to be on the insurance and drive, not operate, but drive a township vehicle, how does that work?
Ask that again.
Who's allowed to drive
So
it?
like
again.
if Cliff drives an ambulance back, how does that work? Like how does
Anybody that's here, Stu,
anybody that's
Mary?
employed by the township?
employed by the township or elected official can drive any vehicle. The
Okay,
trustees could drive
The big trucks.
The big trucks if needed.
you don't have to have an EVOC.
Yeah.
We don't have to have EVOC.
Yeah. But we don't want the fire department driving the big trucks here.
I know. I
No,
don't
I'm
know
just
that.
kidding.
So,
I was just curious.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it would have to be somebody
So-
employed by the township.
Well, and I would volunteer my time. I mean, if you'd want to have more of the equipment over there and we had space for it, I'd be willing to help back and forth. But then you've got all your equipment in one spot and 2 people. So
Yeah.
if you need to go on a fire now, you're not at the town, you're not at the department, you're not with your gear. I mean, like, I understand you can take it with you and be ready, but
I was just curious. I mean,
Yeah.
even just like the other day when I went back out to go get it, I'm like, I mean, obviously someone
Wow.
can take me out there, but who can actually?
who's allowed to
And
actually
we'll have
drive?
to talk about it, because maybe for the PR, maybe it's worth us paying an extra person who wants to go over there, because it's fun for you to be over there.
And we put it out. It's less paying someone. It's more about who's not already working.
Who's
their other
working
job,
some other
right,
place?
honestly. But
Right.
if I get it out early, then maybe we can have some more people there. Honestly, it's people, if they're not working, they tend to come. They want to be there. We had a pretty good presence Friday night. I think there were 4 or 5 of us.
Well, this is on record, so I don't want them to go home and watch this, but these 3 guys that are here tonight, if they help us through levy and it's successful or not successful to go again, you may say to those 3 guys, hey, you want to help us with our rolling ball game?
Oh, yes, there you go.
We could maybe get some folks to
Dude, I think
volunteer
they
on some of that
make
stuff.
a hefty good,
Sure.
they make quite a bit of money on it.
Yeah. What's it called again?
P-ball.
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 Because
Okay.
it's
It was
little things are
specifically
P's.
requested on Facebook.
P-ball.
Why isn't there?
Why is there P-ball?
Okay, that's
All right.
funny.
You have to dust that
And they
baby
said the
off.
fire department had it. P-ball
Yeah.
from the fire
It's in our HVAC room against the wall. I mean, it's been there since I worked there. So.
All right, well, dust off the P-ball when you're in there
I
sometime.
see on fire report, you've got update on ambulance purchase orders. Do you need something from me on that, Brian?
Yeah, what that is, trustees, I'll be doing that on the road when trustee Puro does the road section of that. What I need to do the year end, I had to close out those existing purchase orders with American Rescue and our capital funds.
Okay.
Because of some glitchy things that were going on, but I have resubmitted them back in. I have them prepared tonight. Alls I need you to do is be able to do a resolution that allows me to do all that and anything needed to get them back in place. I have the copies. There's 3 of them for the ambulance because I had 3 separate purchase orders that need signed. I'm going to hand them all to you. They're duplications of what already did in
Okay.
22.
So can the resolution be that we allow you to make decisions to get this
Yes,
done?
make one resolution number. I'll sign it to all 3 of them.
Okay.
Okay?
All right, trustee Varian makes a resolution to allow fiscal officer Brian Lowry to complete purchase orders to finish off the ambulance.
Liberty
purchase.
Ford,
And,
Superior Cells,
It's all gonna be one, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Trustee Puro seconds.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
And you're just putting them all back in.
Yeah, they're duplications. You'll see when you go through the signing, you'll see the duplication from 22 right underneath of them. I've already keyed them in the system, hoping you'll approve them on tonight, so they're all in there.
And you have any,
Don't sign the training one, sign the one that has a tab on it. If you sign them top 3, you're
Yeah.
already good.
okay. Anything else on fire? Perfect. All right, let's move on to cemetery report.
Sexton and Shear dropped some checks off here. Let me get this. Got an open and closing. He collected $800 from Sanders Funeral Home for open and closing of Debransky at Indian Run Cemetery. And
Did we use the new guy for that then?
yes, we've been using it.
And how's that working out?
Looks all good so far.
Ryan Eckroat?
Yeah.
Great.
Thank you. Good, Chief Parker.
And at this time, that's all he had given me at this point in time.
Okay. All right, let's move on to the road report.
Good
Mr.
evening,
Eckert.
everybody. The trustees have read over the road report. If there's any questions I'd like to ask.
When you looked over the outside lighting, was that here? On,
Yes, around all the buildings, all the
yeah,
poles,
okay.
everything.
He's got it lit up good. Couple bulbs. The
Lighten it up,
LEDs are-
Can you, next time you're out, will you look down at that sign down here
Yeah.
before it falls over?
Long hour, but it's got a little crooked.
Why is it an updated road truck quote?
That's me. And
Okay.
Randy.
We got
Me, Randy, and Stu.
that's later on. That's what I
Okay.
got, so.
Won't be that.
You need letters for the new signs, the blanks you got, correct?
Well, we did almost all those signs, but I'm down to almost nothing now, and I need to replenish it.
Brian, we
And
got,
we're still not done with all of them. I mean, I still have a few more I need to do to make.
fiscal officer, are we good to?
Yeah, my question on the signs, Stu, and you may have told me this morning, is that up to 500 or?
I'd rather it be 550. She said 500 for the letters, but they're not super heavy, but it's gonna cost a little bit to have them shipped here.
Go like 600 or something.
550 would be
Sure.
Go
fine.
600 up to 600.
Trustee Piero moved to approve up to $600 to buy a new set of lettering to re-letter road signs.
Trustee Varian, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I called Dexter's today to ask about the quote on the boom mower again, because that quote they gave us back here right at the first of the year, after the first of the year, it was only gonna be good until about the end of the month of January. Well, it's went up. He never sent it on my email. He said he was gonna send it, and I looked at it when I just came in here again before the meeting. I'm gonna have to call him back up tomorrow. From where he talked, the quote that we did have was 25,350. Now I had 8,000.
25? You challenged my memory.
He told us, he told
Wait,
me,
what is it
and I
now?
told you guys back a while ago that it was gonna possibly go up 10 to 15%, so.
What did it go up to, 28?
25,350 and had 8,000.
They had 8,000, went up like, it went up like 45%. 38%, what is that? 8 of 25? That's a lot of money to go up.
You better go to Buck Hill,
Yeah,
get some welding done.
get some well done. Man, it's a lot.
That doesn't have nothing to do with that. That whole thing's fire cracking everywhere. The whole deck would have to be rebuilt. But that's up to you guys.
So 25,350 went up to what, 33? Or you don't have it in front of you?
I don't have it in front of me.
Oh, that's fine.
So that's why I'm just letting you guys know.
Okay. That's fine.
And it would take
When were
probably,
we, guys, when were we planning on doing that though?
well, that's the thing. Even if you'd ordered it clear back in
Yeah, I
January,
mean,
it's gonna take 14 weeks
Sure.
before they would even start to
I
try to
didn't think we
build
were gonna
it.
do that until we kind of got through the trucks and talked about the mini and I thought.
Well, all right, that's fine. We need to hold off, but you're saying that it's not gonna operate. Do we need to get somebody in there to look at it? we gotta mow the road.
I'm just saying, I am dealing with stress cracks everywhere on all the time.
Okay.
And it's gonna probably happen again this year when you get out there and really get going again.
Right,
It's
right.
something I'm just chasing all the time.
Sure, sure.
When I
I
start getting all these spider cracks going towards where
Yeah.
the center of the main big bearing that holds that,
I got you.
the blade.
But it may.
I seen ours
it may
down
be
Brown
better
Township.
In case this doesn't happen, to be proactive, if we need to put some bracing on it to make sure we don't have the major break.
No. I,
Let me ask this question. Is this a piece of equipment that is rentable or no?
no, most people don't have those sitting
You
around
don't,
the
okay. I
rack.
didn't know. I mean,
No.
if we can't afford $38,000, we say, okay, let's try to get through this year. And then we have our rental company on back order. You know what I'm saying? If it goes
I'm just
down,
saying,
we
it
can
might
rent-
make it through this summer.
Yeah, I
I'm
got you.
probably gonna have to weld on it and weld on it and weld on it,
I got you.
but I know it's gonna come apart one of these days.
Yeah, okay.
And I don't wanna see somebody hurt either.
Is it old enough and does it make any sense to begin to look in the used market?
I don't.
No, or are you not gonna be able to find a used system that bolts onto that John Deere?
I seen a really
You'd have to
nice
get-
used one that Pike Township had, but they sold it to Rose Township.
Did they? See, we missed.
Yeah, we missed.
But buying, I mean, Randy,
A
you
really
know, you know
nice
the John Deere is
tractor,
better
too.
than anybody. You're not gonna find something.
It had a Tiger on it too, like same
Happy
as
to
this.
hold on to that used, right?
Oh, no, they can make.
But you're gonna pay 20 grand for a used one when you probably should pay 38.
It's
for a new
all,
one.
they make brackets for any brand.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, Randy, if you want me to, I mean, I can get Tim.
Well, I
Come
just
down from
thought,
Buck
I
Hill,
just
look
thought
at it,
if-
look it
if-
over and
if
say, hey,
he
what is
came
your
out and
thoughts
said,
on
hey,
it?
I'd weld a couple angles here and
Yeah.
before you
Yeah.
say, hey, this broke out at the bearing, now we problem.
Well, that's what, I had this happen down Brown Township. The whole deck bleeding up around where the bearing
Yeah,
was totally
blew apart.
disintegrated, started cracking.
So do you think a couple $1,000 weld job maybe gets us through the year?
Well, that's what I'm saying, have them look at
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And he might say, I've seen this happen before,
Yeah,
I've seen
right.
this, and
Right.
we should plate
That
this.
does seem like a wild amount of addition to what the first quote was. Gee whiz.
Right, I know, and I knew this was gonna happen. That's why I mentioned that back here.
I would suggest doing like up to a certain dollar amount to get like this guy to get a quote or help.
Why
Steve
don't
out.
we just get a quote for the next
Yeah,
meeting?
Yeah, then that way you have something to make that decision, because it sounds like ultimately you're gonna be looking at a new deck sometime here, whether it's this season or next season.
I can get Tim down here to look at it, or one of the guys. from
But I'd say
Buck Hill.
it's very unlikely of this year. I mean, even if we get the funds later on and getting it here this year, probably
Yeah.
pretty slim.
Yeah, even if you have the funds ordering it, you're gonna wait.
Right, so
So how many brands are there? Is there kind of one brand that's in the boom mower business, or are there other brands?
No, there's
There's quite a few.
Motrim from down south.
Okay, they all make boom arm mower.
They do,
But you know what the elite, you know what the one you want is.
yes.
Okay, that's fine.
Tiger, is
Okay.
that the one?
Tiger's the one to buy. All right.
Less,
Well,
Okay.
let's get a quote for next meeting
Okay.
and see, or just get an opinion and see what he thinks and what he thinks it cost.
all right, thank you. Then we have about the tires for the 5085. As you can see, there's the two different quotes there. Miller Tire was just a little bit more than Ziegler's,
All four tires, right?
all four tires.
Oh, it's all four. Okay.
Yeah, they're wore out. Front ones are showing the cord.
Radial or buy it or
I think they are.
Stu, do these tires have like the fluids in them or weights or additional?
They do,
or
no,
what
but
have
that's
you?
all in on the price of taking it out.
They'll
putting
pull
it
the
back
fluid
in.
out and put it back
Do
in.
you have to
Which-
take it to them or they come here?
They come right here.
Stewie, I'm sorry, I'm behind. Which mower, which tractor is this?
5085, the one that has the flail mower on it.
Okay.
The newer John Deere.
The newer John Deere.
Yes,
Okay. And
yes.
it gets a lot of road time. That's what wears those tires out, right? I mean,
Yes.
it
What's on
gets a
it?
lot of road time. Yeah. Okay.
is that a
Here.
cleated tire?
Here.
Is that cleated? Like a regular?
Yeah, regular V.
Barn
Yeah.
tire?
I had a quote from Baghdad or whatever, that place that closed up. He was a way lot more, but that was those, he was trying to put
Turf
in there
tire.
one of those like newer style turf tires that you see the state with, they're so expensive, but they
Oh, that's
last
right.
long, but they're big bucks.
Yeah, the tread pattern isn't as aggressive. So
It
runs like a
right,
radial,
they're
runs
all
like a
flat
radial.
more
Yeah,
and
yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
closer together.
Yeah.
But they last long, but they're so expensive.
Probably the
Right.
tractor probably rides better too.
You would probably be looking at
We got-
close to 8-10 grand for
you
4
got it.
tires on that tractor dealing with that.
Got it.
Trustee Pure moves to hire Ziegler Tire to put 4 new tires on 5085 at 3 cost of not to exceed $3,200.
Trustee Varian, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
What was your not to exceed price again?
3,200.
3200.
32? Okay.
You think
And
that's a
I
pretty
called
good
him, I
turnaround?
called him today and double checked
They
with
can
him
get those.
and he still would honor that price.
Oh,
Even
great.
though that's been quite a while ago.
You think it's pretty good turnaround time and get it soon?
Oh,
Yeah.
probably,
They
yeah.
probably haven't stopped.
We got plenty of time for him to get the tires
Okay,
down there and put them on
good.
before we start mowing.
All right, great. Yeah, you're right. We got time.
Yeah.
All right, anything else on road?
We have another quote on the truck. The truck got cheaper again.
Oh, good.
Well,
But that's not good for the fiscal.
you've already done all the work.
This is the other
Right.
reason why I had to redo all the purchase orders after the first of the year, because now the price is going down. But what I did is I prepared the documents for tonight for Trustee Puro and Stu here,
I don't
that
know.
it'll have a new price lower, $6,500 roughly lower.
Okay,
Which then, the way I did this, it freed up more American Rescue money for the premium pay if you'd like to do anything there.
okay.
I'm looking at that now, the premium pay area, you had approved $20,000. I estimated that might be done in October. This extra amount of money comes to $26,900 and some dollars. Whether you use it on that, it's up to you or what you want to do with it. But I am going to file a report with the OBM come April to tell them where we're at, what's been ordered, and what way all this money's being spent.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
Well, how much did you say was left? About 34,000.
I'll tell you.
Sean, is that right?
It is $26,768.99. I didn't want to move the capitals, change the capital amounts, because I want to clean them out so we can start off fresh with anything with
Yeah,
capitals.
I understand.
Because they were already in there. We were supposed to put 25,000 into one fund and 25 in the other. I wasn't able to do that. So I'm using the capital funds that are there because they're also, one of them's like 5 years old and they're not supposed to keep them over 8 or 10
You
years.
need to use those capital funds.
Yeah, just to get them, that, they're a clean slate. The one I'm worried about capital is a 5. But you all can still, right now we use $2,318.02 on premium pay since January 1st for the fire department. So at that rate, you all can look at the calendars and look, at that rate, you're going to be around 20-some thousand at the end of October used, which that's what you approved for this year. We have $26,768.99 as of right before this meeting when I run this report.
All right. So how do we want the motion for the truck?
How I like the motion is very similar to what you did in the fire or the ambulance. You can make one motion that allows me, and I'm going to hand them to you. This particular one only has 2 that are updated. And then the copies of what they used to be are there. So training, you don't have to fill out, just show you what they were. Like, for example, flip it up.
Just say to reappropriate the funds to match the new quote.
To match the new
Let
quote.
fiscal officer Larry get it paid.
Trustee Puro moves to reappropriate the funds to purchase the new dump truck for the road department to match the new reduction of price.
Trustee Varian, second.
Just so you guys know, remember when I told you they had to up the price from after he had gave us the first quote?
You
Saying
talking
what the
boom-
truck
you
was
talking
gonna
boom
cost,
mower,
and
you
they had to
talking
put that emissions, the mandated
Yeah,
government
yeah,
emissions
yeah.
on there, which was like $4,000. And then the surcharge was $2,100.
No.
That all came back off there is what more or less happened.
Okay.
They was
Yeah,
there, he went back
you
and
got-
talked to
you
him,
got-
they went back to Mac, and they took all that
All in
back.
favor?
Aye.
I think she is.
Yeah, bring it inside more there.
That's what they took
So they
back
took
off.
the emissions and all that extra.
Yes,
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
The surcharges on all the extra.
yeah, they took all that off,
Okay.
back off after they
Great.
went and had to tack it
It's
on.
a lot of money.
They're gonna delete it.
They're gonna delete it
No,
right out of the gate.
I-
Probably just have way less problems. All right.
All right, anything else on the road?
He's out of money. Got new tires.
Got new tires.
I don't have all the prices yet on doing that culvert over on Argyle. I did find out what the 90 was gonna cost. We're probably gonna end up going with a catch basin.
Okay.
It's that much. The 90, $2,167.
Oh my gosh. The wrong business.
So
Yeah,
Mr. Parker is checking on price from another place for the catch basin. We need a 5x5 because that's a 4-foot. So
Catch base would be a lot less.
I never would have thought that elbow would have been that much money.
Yeah.
The other ones were, in the $1,300 to $1,800 when
Wow.
they told me that today. Oh yeah, I thought, oh my gosh.
Well, if you wait long enough, depending on what happens, it's possible the prices will drop. Possible. Like I
Yeah,
say probable, I'm saying possible.
yeah.
So, all right, let's move on to zoning.
Since the last meeting, got quite a few phone calls, but no permits. Over on the nuisance side, not listed on it, but I got a phone call today over on Ravenna about some trash blowing around from one property to all the surrounding properties.
Oh, with the wind?
So I'll look into that. As far as updates go, over on Oakfield, that's that vacant house, with a couple trucks and stuff. He did remove one truck. He's waiting to get some money back in to get that other truck moved. It's actually his, mom's property, and she just recently gave it to him.
So he's working on it.
Yes. So he's working on it. He's trying to keep good faith with all the neighbors and everything. As far as the other three go, I emailed the prosecutor's office. She usually gets back to me pretty quick, but that's a lot of dropping everything on her all at once, so it'll probably take her a little while to get through it.
Okay.
But I gave her an update of what's going on with Indian Run.
Who's your contact person now?
Um,
Because I know they changed, but then I didn't know if you're assigned a certain person there.
lately I've been working with,
It's okay.
I think it's Angela maybe.
Yeah, it's,
I know the first guy I had, he no longer works there.
right. That's not me.
So yeah, I gave them an update of what's going on and see what they come back with.
So we have 3 of them that are sitting at the prosecutors. Can you give them an update on the zoning meeting? What they're looking at with that house trailers?
For the house, so the zoning commission talked about putting in language to allow house trailers to be moved into a property. Looking at 3 acres, I believe. I don't have.
I think it was 2.
Could have been 2. But, have to have septic or sewer and a well or water of some sort. And the goal is to hopefully have them build in the future. But if they just keep it as a house trailer, they can, but it has to be kept clean, pretty neat, well taken care of, that kind of thing.
So are they looking at no foundation on these?
They would have to be on some kind of foundation.
The foundation is not a basement. The foundation.
It can be a block, it can be a block, it can be stacked
block
blocks.
pad, yeah.
Okay. Because I was gonna say, if you're gonna make them put a basement under it, they're not gonna do it temporarily.
No.
It'd be too expensive. Have they also talked about tiny homes and campers too, and how you delineate?
have not talked about,
We talked a second about tiny homes
Yeah.
and wasn't in favor of tiny homes.
Because you're gonna get that.
What if
You're
they
gonna
rent
get
them?
somebody that's like, I have a tiny home.
the owner has to be the one living in the.
Yeah, it
mobile
cannot
home.
be a rental.
Yeah,
Okay, okay,
Yeah, it can't be a rental,
okay,
is what they said, and they had to be the landowner
gotcha, okay. Got it.
to make sure they had a vested interest in.
Because right now, any modular or any trailers that are on Osnaburg properties now are all grandfathered, correct?
Mhm.
So since it's not in the book, we're not allowing it, but they're looking at adding it in.
Mhm.
Okay, great.
and
But they were
that,
looking at maybe moving on, sending that to regional planning next month.
Oh, okay.
And so we are, again, checking the, bless your feelings here.
Yeah,
What happens if somebody has a grandfather trailer and it's older and they wanted to move a new one in?
They're gonna put year requirements on it too. So if you're grandfathered in, what's sitting there would be there. But the minute that trailer has to leave, the next thing coming in has to be within so many years new. They haven't said how many years that is though. So you can't move
But
in.
it can be done. No, if they wanted to update it, that's.
Yeah, and that was the point, you want them to
Do-
update.
Right.
do we, I'm playing devil's advocate here, and maybe their higher revised code has this for us, but like what delineates a modular trailer that's on blocks to a large camper? Like I wonder what, as we've had some camper issues in the township in the past, we've said no. What if they come in and say, listen, this is my house trailer. I want to apply it if they meet all the guidelines, of course. Can they live in a camper? Or what delineates that? I don't know.
so they were talking about making it so you take all the wheels or anything that would make it transferable off.
I
So it would
gotcha.
have to be set there.
When I think it comes
I
with the licensing on them, because
Okay.
mobile homes have a certain specific size of stud in the wall. Campers doesn't have anything like that, and
I see.
they're made so much fire resistant.
Okay.
Campers are just a driving vehicle,
Right.
so there's no comparison for a camper to a.
Well, what do we
mobile
apply
home.
for though?
What's that?
I mean, if it's in the book, it'll be applied for. I mean,
Yeah.
we had a 42-foot camper and I know people that lived in
Well,
shorter modulars.
And we
You know.
talked about someone over on Mitty who was finishing a new home,
Mhm.
lived in a camper, a really large camper, but lived in there for like 8 months.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
So what's your
Okay.
opinion on that?
Yeah, what do you do about that? So if somebody filled the house out on a piece of property and they bring their camper out,
Typically,
Well,
As long as they-
that would go through the variance process for temporary use.
how do you know they're
No
not
one.
camping?
if they pulled a permit to build and they have septic approval and they're in a process, typically we've not done anything.
We usually allow it for like a year while they're building the house and getting everything ready.
As long as they had active permits, I think they can only renew them so
You
long.
probably don't get much complaint if there's a new house getting built, usually.
Yeah, right.
But
Well, and we're not trying to prevent people. We want people coming in because our population keeps decreasing. So we do want people. They just got to keep.
Has any rules changed on your hardship cases?
Not
Like
the,
where you have a camper come in and get hooked up and the trustees approve it
Right.
for why they're taking care of their loved one, then their loved one passes and now it's still all hooked up 2 years later, or a year later?
Mhm.
Or is there a
the
time
bad
frame?
thing is a trailer used to be pretty reasonable to get. They're just getting expensive. That's why I've seen campers, because the trailers are getting expensive now. I mean, I even used ones. I mean, you're 15 grand in ones and just till you get them moved and set.
Yeah.
That's why they're using campers, because they're cheaper.
One reason I'm asking that is if you have other places that want to move their buddies in and
Yeah.
stay on their property, when they look down the street and see something already hooked up, it might not be nicer and cleaner and all, but what's the rules?
Well, to put in a mobile home or camper, the owner of the property has to be living there. And for a mobile home, the person living in the mobile home has to be the owner of the land. You can't have it as a rental.
My question again, though, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, this board okayed someone in a hardship case.
That's what I thought that was separate.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. If it's separate, how long does it go after that hardship case has been gone? Because this particular unit's still all hooked up just like it was.
Right.
3
Well,
years
that
ago.
was
Well,
the
that's why-
health department that gave them approval to hook up. So it just needs to go back to the health department again.
But are you gonna let that happen where it's gonna be okay? Because the next guy down the road might wanna do that, which they already are trying to do that.
Right.
And you're stopping that. I mean, the board stopped it.
Um,
I just didn't know if there was anything, because I thought that was like you guys approved that, like a special, hardship case, you approved. it.
While they were still alive. Right.
yeah.
Now they're
Now
not
they're
there.
passed on,
See, I didn't know that.
and
I
it's
thought
been
they were
about
still
a year,
there.
going on 2 years now.
That's the only reason I ask is because I
Well,
don't
then
want to see. you
where's the
get-
house?
Right at the Indian Run.
I know. Who's living in the house then?
Does that matter?
Or did they
Doesn't
just
matter.
not move the camper out?
They didn't move the camper out, they didn't unhook it or
It's
nothing.
all hooked up for,
all
just
still
like
hooked up
somebody
and
could be
everything.
living in
You
it
know,
now, I know.
Out of there.
It's all hooked up. so-
They lived in that while he was,
Right. They could unhook it and still let it sit
Yes,
there.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but it's not
So
that.
they
but
just
it's not
need to-
that way.
Okay. They just need to unhook it.
Everything's still hooked up like it was.
That's the only reason I'm asking,
So-
because you got other places trying to do that in your
And
township.
they're seeing that like that.
So Mary, just for my clarification, the last resident that came in and asked for a variance, did they ask for a variance for hardship on the last camper that was denied? Was that considered a variance?
That's what they were applying for, yeah.
Okay, they're applying for a variance for a hardship,
That went to the
For the
BZA committee.
and that was denied.
Mhm.
Okay, all right, but it was a variance that was applied for.
Yeah, it wasn't a hardship. Okay. So catch up, Mary, where we're at now. So Mary presented you a new zoning fee schedule.
Mhm.
And we did do some increases on that schedule. But she measured some surrounding communities, so we're still within the measure that everybody else is.
Mhm.
We did add the overlay corridor fee there. That's about the middle of the paper.
Oh, yeah.
And the short-term rental had been approved. I don't know if it was on the last fee schedule or
It
not.
was, yeah.
Did some clarity on the sign for home occupation versus the other sign.
And just for clarity on the short-term rental, so the $175 application, it's yearly, right? It's an annual fee?
All of these require an annual inspection to make sure you're doing what you applied for.
Gotcha.
And if not, in the application, you're going to lose your
So when are
permit.
we charging these fees to the residents? Is it January?
No, we're going to make it active as of today.
Oh, okay.
The new fee, there was an old fee schedule effective still.
So when we
No.
make this, if we vote on this today, is her job get really hard the next 2 weeks? We gotta go find all these people and charge them their
No,
fee?
he's saying, when will they renew?
When
They'll
will they
renew
renew?
on their anniversary, right?
Right, on their anniversary.
Okay, great. I just want to make sure if we make this in place, I know how that changed. Okay, sounds good.
We did finalize a little bit better the solar energy production facility there.
Oh, I see that. So 2,500 plus 100 an acre. Okay.
Yeah, it was, I think it was 2,000, was it, Mary?
Is your current landfill in the township paying that 2,500 plus 100 an acre? Sanitary landfill? Is that what their fee is right now?
Their fee was 2,000 plus 100 an acre,
Okay.
and they
it's
were
going up.
paying that, and it's going up by 500.
Okay.
Yeah, that and the solar energy both went up.
Do we give them a head, like, that one's a good example of a decent size one. Do we give them a heads up to say, hey, our fee structure went up, just a heads up, or do we hit them when they renew? They don't care.
They just don't really care.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, they contact her because they come and present in front of the BZA for that.
That's
Yeah, yeah.
But,
Okay. Cool.
That's about all that was new on here that changed.
Looks good.
The overlay, there isn't really anywhere else around.
Comparison, yeah.
So we were
We are
trying to
trendsetters.
keep it fair to everybody.
Yeah, okay.
Tried to keep it so it was reasonable, so a small business would still be able to do that too if they chose,
Yeah.
is what they were hoping to do. So, all right, so with that, I'll make a motion, we accept this fee schedule effective today, which is February 27th, as presented.
Trustee Varian, second.
All in favor? Aye.
Just a point of clarity on the overlay corridor. So the maximum for that application would be 25,000
Annually.
annually. So we would be, so we're looking at 100,000 square foot building would be the max. So I'm doing 25 cents per square, and I'm doing the math on that. So they would have to be a 100,000 square foot building to hit that max.
Right,
Anything over that would be 25,000.
And anything over that size already has to come to the trustees before it's approved.
Right. Yeah, yeah. I'm
because
just,
they can go over that.
yeah, sure. I'm just saying, I'm looking at it thinking, that's 100,000 square foot building. That's obviously a large building, but that's also that's a lot of money, $25,000 a year.
Annually, correct.
Right. That's a lot of money on a big
On
building.
the
They better make some,
solar.
you know what I'm saying? 25,000 a year.
On the solar, somebody could somebody could just come and apply for this. This isn't gonna come before us. Because I think we should change that.
It's in the,
It's already in the zoning book. That's not something that we just did. We just raised their fees, all we did.
All right, how does the book read? So if somebody wants to put a 600-acre field in, can they just come pull that permit and go for it?
Well, there's an application.
I believe if it's not on a home or like for a home,
A residential.
A commercial field?
if it's for commercial, I believe it has to go in front of the BZA. I have to double check. I think it's like a conditional use certificate.
So why don't you double check on that for sure?
Because it's coming. And I talked to, and I don't want to speak for the commissioners, but they said it would, the trustee of whatever township, from what I understood, that was involved, would have some say in that, because it's new.
So can you look again at that?
I just don't want to wait until we have an issue and then, man, I wish we would have changed
It's like the
it.
marijuana stuff, nip it in the butt first.
Right. Well, which is why we put it in here.
I don't-
Because if it's not specified, then we can't say no.
I don't want to harbor the guy that's trying to put some solar panels on his garage, but if
Yeah, I got you.
somebody's gonna
It's
put
broken
500
down,
acres of them in,
It's broken up differently between residential and commercial.
Okay,
There's two
alright.
sections. I just can't answer if you could check on the commercial section to see what it says on that application.
all right.
But they are different. And they did that one couple of years ago. I bet it's been at least, maybe it was pre-COVID. It was pre-COVID.
I remember talking about it a little bit back.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else for zoning, Mary?
That's all I have.
Is anybody going to that zoning, get together? There's a meeting or something?
I didn't think it was that soon, is it?
The one up-
It's next month, I think.
It's in March, but I mean, it's coming up.
They
This
didn't
isn't-
give any time for it yet. They gave a date, but not a time yet.
Yeah, they were supposed to send out another, it was just an FYI. Because that isn't the application. So, and it may change. Okay. Anything else, Mary? All right, let's move on to Old Township business.
Okay.
None seen, we'll go to new. So for the new, I have a quote here from David Bodo and Associates from Joseph Milano for the surveying of the Sucos property.
Great.
His quote is 6,200, but it includes setting 1.5 inch by 5 foot white PVC pipe around the perimeter every 100 foot interval.
Oh, he's gonna actually mark it. He's not gonna survey, but he's gonna mark it too.
He's got to mark it too for
Oh,
the 62.
Okay.
That's good.
That's great.
Well,
So-
that's exactly where we're at.
Yeah, that's,
Yeah, we need
Yeah,
to know where
that's
we're
good.
at.
Yeah.
I like that.
The only question he had for me, and this might be a question for Huntington, he said typically when there's two parcels like that, while we're surveying them, we put them into one. And I said, well, I don't know that we can do that.
Oh,
And he said we didn't have to, that's just what their typical practice is.
as to save money in the future, if you want to put, you survey it once. If you want to put them together when you survey it, so you don't have to do it again.
So can you ask that question of Huntington, Brian?
Well, we gotta have executive, we don't have to do it tonight, but we gotta talk in executive session for that happens.
To see what, if there, because I think that it may be that we have to leave it exactly as it is. Just ask the question, I guess,
Yeah, I guess, yeah,
but
You
don't,
can
yeah.
ask to see.
And then, so we're gonna vote on whether we want to accept this bid. And if we do, then we'll have Brian proceed with Huntington on if they're good with it. And if they are, we'll let the David Bodo and Associates know to go forward. They said it'd be between May and the first part of June before they get there.
Now, do we have to follow any rules on multiple quotes on this?
Well, no, because it's Huntington paying, not us.
Long as, yeah, and
I didn't- I
as
mean, I
long
know-
as it's under $50,000.
Does 50,000 stay the same when it's a trust like that? I don't know, ask him.
What's that?
Is the 50,000 stay the same when it's being paid out of a trust?
No, it's 50,000 if
Okay.
you guys are gonna do anything in here under 50, you can do
Okay.
it.
All right.
But the trust is just more,
I mean, I'm not asking to go get more
Yeah,
quotes, I'm
Fred-
fine with that, I'm just asking.
Phil had already kind of gave us all the green light and told you trustees, that would be a good move.
Okay,
I think trustee Griffith reached out there a little bit. I think he's ready to go.
okay.
That's just one more step of us working on something.
Yes,
Get
the
it
only thing about the surveyors, as I was talking to them, 2 or 3 of our regular surveyors from this community has passed away through COVID.
Hmm.
And so we're really short. I think there was only one other name that I could find. So,
Wow.
yeah, I don't know of any of that.
all right, so I'm gonna make a motion that we recommend this on over to Huntington to proceed with surveying that property at a price of $6,200.
Trustee Varian second.
We're gonna survey it as is,
Yeah,
okay.
I'll ask the question for you about if you put the parcels all together.
Yeah, I think it's a valid question
It's
because
just
it's a
to ask
survey.
him, because he might say, no, you can leave it the same, or if you'd like to, we can look into that. I mean,
I just don't want that decision made until we discuss.
I don't think we have to decide anything. I think it's
Yeah.
when they're
Well, and I
done,
think,
they draw and they do it,
it.
however.
All right.
and I think for the future of that property, what's gonna be best for our, committee and group.
Does the quote identify 2 parcels on that quote?
It does.
If it does, then you're okay.
Yeah, there's
It's-
both parcel numbers on here.
So there'll be something on the parcel to see you identify, like if we walk over there, you'll see
Right.
those white posts around one parcel.
No, but I
and around the
understand
other.
about them combining, there's.
I think that's
I'm
regional
not saying
planning.
I'm against that, I'm just saying we need to have some discussion before that takes place.
I think that's a regional plan to push.
It's just a matter of.
But it could be a
making
legal
one-
thing
making
that
it one person,
we can't do anything anyway.
right,
I think that's what it's gonna come back, that it has to stay the way it is.
all right.
So I made the motion. Do I have a second?
I second it.
And all in favor?
All right.
So we'll have Brian send that on over to Huntington, get that started. And then we just need to let him know, Milano guy.
I'll
Okay.
give him that information. I'm gonna send that. I'm gonna send him the electric bill.
Okay,
So I'll just do 2 attachments and let him see what we're all seeing.
okay. Did you want that for our records?
I just put it in my file. Right here, it'll be there 100 years from now.
All right, anything else that we're missing? That, I'll
Yeah,
take
the only
it.
thing I was gonna
16.
tell you, I wanted to tell you one thing. The year end is complete for the fiscal office. I am going to have in front of you, hopefully the next meeting, your permanent appropriations.
Okay.
So be prepared for that. With what all we've discussed last year and into this year, this is what all the discussions for your budget for next year is gonna be worked on. And finish up any projects you have, like a mini, repairs, things like that, things that need done up at the fire department. This is where road stuff, I know Stu's gonna be working on, like chip and seal project. This is stuff that I'm gonna be tight, But that's going to be presented to you next meeting.
I don't have anything to report, but I was talking with Paris Township, some of the parks, so we're moving slowly on that. Just to let you know.
Okay.
Or are we coming up here sometime this month in March? I mean,
And again, I want us to think about fixing our sign out front. It's in bad shape.
Please get it straightened up.
So with that, I'll take a motion to adjourn and pay bills.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Bye. Three amigos must have left.
Hey, Brian, have you compared the Sucos property? Are these investments doing well? Do you know? Okay. I don't have them compared to because I recycle them, I don't keep all.
Did you see,
I don't have them.
did you see what